WXII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
Don't wait till it's happening. That's not the time to decide about what you're going to do. So now's the time to prepare.
Preparing for coronavirus, advice from local emergency leaders on how to prepare for a possible outbreak here at home. Plus, shots fired at police officers in the Piedmont. Hear from eyewitnesses who said they heard the gunfire today. And a new search underway in the case of that still missing 15-month-old little girl from Tennessee. But first, another chilly evening on tap in the Piedmont Triad, plus snow in the mountains as we prepare to almost say goodbye to February. Here's a live look at Danner Elk from ResortCams.com. Meteorologist Michelle Kennedy is in for us tonight. Michelle, any chance that white stuff drifts down toward the Piedmont Triad proper?
Yeah, actually, we do have a chance to see some of those flurries, maybe even a quick snow burst, but it should be while we're sleeping overnight. You might even see a flurry trying to make its way out there as these light showers start to taper off. But we do have some bands of snow that are rolling through the mountains right now. Under an inch so far of accumulation from what we've seen so far. Here's that quick moving cold front. We call those clippers, and that is helping to lift in what little moisture is out there right over the mountains and drop it in for the ski slopes. Back to the west, we're going to have a drier weekend on tap. Take a quick look at what we have seen out there from earlier. We have seen Boone with lots of snow on the ground, but not a lot accumulating just yet. We still have concerns though as we have more snow on the way through 4 or 5 a.m. that we're going to deal with those winter weather advisories and slick roads. Then blowing snow could also reduce visibilities. Maybe those flurries also east. We'll take a look at that hour by hour forecast and break it down for you. Talk about your weekend too for Sunday and how we are changing things up for next week.
Michelle, thank you very much. Now we want to get you caught up on the coronavirus outbreak, where things stand on this Friday. The World Health Organization is raising the global risk for this virus to its highest level. This is happening as 2 more American patients have tested positive after contracting the disease on a cruise ship out of the country. And today, more losses on Wall Street. The Dow shed another 350 points and wrapped up its worst week for investors in almost a dozen years. It lost 3,500 points this week. Well, right now, state and local leaders are gearing up for a possible pandemic here at home. Our Steve King joins us live tonight from the Forsyth County Department of Public Health with a look at what local health experts are urging people do right now in case things get bad. Steve, good evening.
Good evening, Kenny. Well, Forsyth County Emergency Management Director August Vernon says right now they're in the monitoring stage. They're communicating with the State Department of Public Health, health departments of every county across the state, as well as hospital systems and school districts about a possible outbreak of the coronavirus here in North Carolina and what those agencies and organizations would do if one were to occur. Now, Forsyth County emergency management leaders again say right now they're just monitoring the situation and communicating, but in the meantime, they're asking families and businesses to have enough supplies on hand for 3 to 5 days and be ready to care for small children and the elderly in their families or businesses. The emergency management director says all businesses should have plans in place to stay open in case 5 to 10% of their staff happens to get sick. However, Vernon says that while having these plans in place is important because of a possible outbreak, really, families and businesses should be taking these precautions all year.
Now's the time to prepare, and not if people start becoming sick around you. And that's the same message again we use every year with flu season. Don't wait till it's happening. That's not the time to decide about what you're going to do. So now's the time to prepare.
Now, Vernon recommends people visit 3 websites to stay up to date on the coronavirus: the Forsyth County Public Health Department, the Forsyth County Emergency Management, and also the CDC's website. We have links to all 3 of those websites on ours, WXII12.com. But for reporting live in Winston-Salem, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
Alrighty, Steve, thank you very much. And if you'd like to learn more information about how the coronavirus disease spreads, the symptoms, how to prevent it, and how to treat it, just head to cdc.gov/coronavirus. Crime now. Greensboro police tonight say they took numerous people into custody earlier today. They say their officers were trying to serve a search warrant when someone started shooting at their investigators. This happened at the Avenue Apartments on West Friendly Avenue. Our Leanne Denyer is following this story for us closely tonight. She joins us live now with details. Leanne.
Yeah, we spoke with some of the people who live at that apartment complex. They said this morning it really was quite scary, but still they say they're grateful it didn't end much differently. At the Avenue Apartments Friday morning,
I hear ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
The cops are out there. They're screaming, get down, come out, we got a warrant.
while attempting to serve a search warrant, Greensboro police say officers were shot at.
Guess they see me in the window recording videos, and they tell me get away from the window.
A bunch of detectives. It was surrounded here. They were all walking around. It was bad.
Police say several people were arrested, but no one was hurt. No officers, no neighbors, no suspects, no kids.
It's scary as a parent, because it's a lot. I usually don't let my kids run around outside, but just because I know. But it's a lot of other kids that run around outside all day, and it is scary.
I don't know why you would do that. Why, like, you're gonna just come out. You got kids here.
Police say the initial warrant and people involved are believed to be tied back to a series of robberies. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Greensboro police did say that they would release more information. They haven't been able to just yet, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. And when it comes in, we'll be sure to share it with you at home. In Greensboro, Leanne Denyer, WXII 12 News.
Leanne, thank you very much. There's a search going on right now in Tennessee at a home connected to the case of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell, who remains missing at this hour. Nobody's seen her since December, and authorities were not notified of her disappearance until earlier this month, just a couple of weeks ago. Earlier this week, investigators checked out a pond in Wilkes County after getting a tip, but after a thorough search, the results were, quote, inconclusive. Right now, 2 people are behind bars, including Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell, who was charged with false reporting. 2 people are dead tonight, another person battling for their life after an overnight fire in Lexington. It broke out this morning at a home on Horseshoe Neck Road. Firefighters found 2 people dead inside a home. A 3rd person was badly injured, had to be airlifted to the hospital. Neighbors say a woman, man, and a disabled child lived at that home. The names of the victims have not yet been released to the public. New at 6 o'clock, a man is dead after a workplace incident in North Wilkesboro yesterday. The Wilkes County Sheriff's Office says rescuers were called to Gardner Glass just before 2 in the afternoon. EMS and rescue squad members were on the scene within 5 minutes. Wilkes County EMS says sheets of glass fell on top of the victim, who died of traumatic injuries from being crushed. That victim has not been identified as of tonight. Commitment 2020 now. North Carolina's Lieutenant Governor and a member of the State House square off in the GOP primary for governor on Super Tuesday, this Tuesday. We introduced you to Dan Forrest earlier in the campaign. He's the current Lieutenant Governor. Today we get the chance to hear from Holly Grange. She spoke with our Bill O'Neill as part of our continuing Commitment 2020 coverage.
Holly Grange has little name recognition outside of the coastal community she represents, but she has an impressive background. She's served 2 terms in the North Carolina House. She's a West Point grad and a retired military officer.
I've jumped 29 times.
Holly Grange says she's jumped out of 29 airplanes and fired every weapon from a pistol to a tank during her career in the Army.
The fact that I'm a veteran, I think, brings something to the table, and we're a military state. The fact that I've been a legislator, that I've actually voted, I have a voting record, and I've passed legislation.
The Republican from New Hanover County on the coast is taking on Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest in the GOP primary for governor.
I think my qualifications potentially exceed those of the lieutenant governor because, as I said before, what does the lieutenant governor do besides run for governor?
Grange is a latecomer to the race. She announced her campaign just 7 months ago. Political observers note that her opponent, Dan Forrest, has been running for the past 7 years. She readily admits that she and Forrest share many of the same conservative views, but says she's more electable. What is it about him that you feel he's not as electable?
Well, I think he's made some divisive comments, and that's been all over the news. I don't need to reiterate all of those.
Grange says that Dan Forrest's connection to the ongoing federal bribery trial underway in Charlotte is one of the reasons she decided to challenge him.
If he is the victor, I think that the Lindbergh thing, he'll hear about that every day. You know, granted, he may not have done anything wrong, but Lindbergh's largest contributions went to Dan Forrest. And that's something he would hear about every day on the campaign trail.
The winner of the GOP primary takes on Governor Roy Cooper in November. Grange says she worries Cooper won't have a competitive challenger in Dan Forrest and cites stopping the governor from using his campaign money to help other Democrats as her #1 issue.
Stopping the governor from using his resources to flip the legislature, flip the council of state, and elect Democrat judges.
Grain says she denies rumors that Senator Tillis convinced her to run for governor.
Yeah, I have spoken to Senator Tillis about this, but
Did he give you some guidance?
I did not. That's personal, but I will say that I take his. I listened to what he had to say, but I didn't get into the race because of Senator Tillis. No.
2020 marks the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, a woman's right to vote. Grange is one of only a handful of Republican women in the North Carolina House. We asked about the future for women in her party.
Well, I will say that there are times in the legislature that I feel like I'm beating my head against a brick wall. So, do I need to say any more? You've been there, you know this.
It's not just women. Do you see a better future for women in your party?
I certainly hope so.
The winner between Holly Grange and Dan Forest will take on Governor Roy Cooper come November. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.